Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of GOW, the Generation of Wrestling Podcast. As always, is yours truly, the 29-year-old piece of girl of the franchise, aka the showstopper, better known as the GOW's resident tribal chief. And with me, as always, I got my tag team partner, my brother, my family. He is the flash in the room, Mr. 1, 2, 3. Pin that ass down, K Breezy, aka EC's resident Isaac Hayes, King 2 Gold in the building. Bro, at least I remember your name today.
Hey, it's always one of us that you mess up on, but it's all good though, man. What's good with you, bro? What's good with the people? Hey, man. We got some stuff to talk about, man. It was a hell of a show last night, man. Tony, I once again, TK, he reached down in the pit of that bag that he be reaching in, and I don't know where the hell he be finding this magic that he be putting on, man. But man, I ain't gonna lie, at least that first hour of Dynamite, man, had me like, like, wow, this was hot. The crowd was hot. The action was hot. Everything was hot. Let's stop BSing around, man. Let's get straight to it, man. Hangman, Adam Page versus Jon Moxley. Man, bro, I ain't gonna lie. This was everything I thought this should be. They beat the hell out of each other. Moxley tested that boy's head. He tested his brain to see if he can hold up. And Hangman showed him, hey, he's all about that cowboy shit. And he showed up and he showed out. Moxley, he had the advantage early on. Page fought back, and eventually, man, he hit that boy with I can't think of the
lariat.
The lariat, the lariat, and he got the 1, 2, 3 over Moxley, which well deserved, man. And the crowd went bananas for it. Honestly, man, the crowd didn't boo neither one of these guys. Like they were all for what they were doing in the ring. It didn't matter. Like I said, they slapped it, they punched, they kicked, they brutally beat the hell out of each other. Franchise, my guy, man. Your thoughts on the show, man?
Hey, man. Match. No. It was wild. It was wild. Okay, and I'm gonna be the first to say I was very unsure of how this match is going to go because Hangman, and I've said this 1,000 times, ever since Hangman got the championship, I feel like his run was a little lackluster. And then, I felt like he was slowly starting to build himself back up after losing the championship. But then, of course, him and Mox got into that fight, and then he got hurt. And then he's kind of been like on and off, stop and go. Moxley, for the most part, has been consistent. But again, it's Mox. But when we got this match to start off the show, and like you said, that crowd was red hot. 11,000 people. First of all, when I'm looking, and they was doing like the camera pans from the stage, I'm looking like, damn, like that is like they really doing numbers on this show. Like this ain't no little 3, 4, 5. Like no, they're doing numbers. And then to see they did 11,000, I'm like, okay, like this ain't no joke. But to go back to what you said, man, the match was hot. And even though for the most part, the fans, they were kind of cheering for both, they were rooting for both. There was a point towards like the middle end of the match where fans started to lean more towards Hangman. And you kind of say, Mox shoot the middle finger. Mox was like, I don't give a damn if you boo. I don't care. And then Mox, every time he got on the offensive, he was getting booed a little bit. Then Hangman to do some stuff. And then he ended up, getting it cheered. And then I liked how they did the concussion angle because that was the whole story of the angle, right? That boy, Hangman, he didn't have that strong head mentally. He couldn't handle it physically. He couldn't handle it. He wasn't ready to be in there with a beast, with a pit bull like Jon Moxley. And then for Mox to be on the receiving end and pretty much go out the same way Hangman did, that was true poetic justice. Great match. Dude, I don't feel like it went too long. I don't think it was too short. I think it was the perfect amount of time. I feel like both guys did great. They got a nice amount of offense in. And I feel like they told a great story. My only thing is I kind of wish it ended here. But I think the way they ended that match, I'm not sure if the story's over.
No, the story doesn't have to be over. But at the same time, you don't have to hit us over the head with it every week. Like you built up. What's going on, Battleground Podcast? Man, appreciate you, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. You don't have to, beat the people over the head with this rivalry. It's a rivalry, okay? It's. We understood Moxley, not Moxley. We understood that Page got hurt. He had a concussion. He had to sit out. Okay, while that was going on, Moxley was doing his 1-2 with MJF. Paige is getting healthy. Cool, no problem. You had the storyline of Paige trying to come back after a while, and and because he wasn't medically cleared, but he was still going out there and having fights with Moxley, but he wasn't winning a lot of these fights. He was, these little scuffles that they were having, man. Moxley was pretty much getting the better of him. And then, he finally gets cleared and they have this epic match. And Moxley won while he was the champion. Okay. Yeah. Paige got the get back. So, we got to have a rubber match. We got to have a third match. And I'm betting at the next pay-per-view, we're going to get that match because Jon Moxley, first and foremost, let's not forget that man deserves his 6 weeks of vacation that he so canceled when all of that stuff went down with CM Punk and everything. So my man, if he's going to take, if this was worked for him to take that time off that he so deserved, because he stepped up when they needed him to step up, no problem. I'm fine with it because this gives him time until they get to the pay-per-view, and then you can revisit it and bring it back. By this time, now you can have Moxley out for a while. You can have Paige back, and he can do his 1-2 on the show. And then by the time you get close to the pay-per-view, Moxley comes back. He wants that get back. Nah, we ain't done yet, and I'm okay with it. You finish it at the pay-per-view. That's the one thing that I appreciate about Tony Khan and the way that he structured AEW. I get that sometimes the story may not always be 100. It may not be on point, but WWE is kind of the same way. So I don't look at one different than the other. I look at both of them and how the storyline builds up to the big match, to the big payoff. And right now, you can argue both really, because there's been plenty of times where the story on WWE might not have been great, but by the time they got to the payoff and WWE puts the package together for the pay-per-view, we're like, man, you would think this was a great story, but then you go back and look at it, and you're like, nah, this was kind of bad. But it paid off. It paid off in the end. So I'm okay with what happened at the end of the match. Moxley, looking like he got the concussion this time, like he took too much. And Paige getting the victory. He needed that. He needed that victory. And, like I said, that was a great way to start the show, to kick the show off. And then, I'm good with, like I said, Tony reached deep in his bag, man. But with that being said, bro, let's move on, man, because I got to talk about my boy returning. I got to talk about that one and only Adam Cole, baby, as he is back to Dynamite, man. And I actually didn't have a problem with what he said, because it's that you get to a certain point as a man or as a woman, or you get to a certain point in life, where you evaluate what's most important. And obviously because of the injury, and he's at a point in his life where he's got to evaluate what's going on, what's going to happen with him moving forward. And he talked about, what he was going through and whatnot. And I'm glad that one, he's healthy, and that he's back. Adam Cole is always, he's always great to watch, and that he's back. And now that the bad news that had everybody so worried is that the AEW locker room is going to have a problem because Adam Cole is back and he ain't playing no games. And that's what I loved about it the most. He was appreciative of the people, wishing him well and wanting to see him come back. Even if he didn't come back to wrestle, they wanted him to be okay. But that ain't going to stop him from being the man that he is, and everybody's on notice. And I love that. Your thoughts, man?
No, I mean, absolutely. So I wasn't directly in front of the TV when this theme song hit. I was in the kitchen doing some stuff, but I heard the music and I'm like, damn, like, okay, I didn't hear the announcement or anything.
Bro.
I just heard the music. I'm like, why is this music something for me? Like, who is it? I heard the crowd just going crazy. Like, the crowd was already hot, but like they were like super loud, like in this specific segment. So I happened to sit in front of the TV. I'm like, oh, it's Adam Cole.
Okay, so and the setup for it was actually pretty good because they had Tony Schiavone in the ring, and Tony's like, all right, right now I don't have the pleasure of bringing out someone. He basically played it like, I got to bring someone out that I really don't want to bring out.
Yeah.
And it almost felt like it was MJF. I thought it was MJF. And then it's like when he said that, and then yo, what's up? And I'm like, yo, oh shit. And then the crowd went crazy. As soon as that hit, it was like the music didn't even hit. It's that little whatever dude says on
at the beginning,
right. It's like that hit, and everybody just instantly knew who it was, and they just went crazy. And then he came out, and it was like, yo, Cole is back. Thank God, man. Cole is back, man. This is awesome, man. Like I said, that was kind of how that played out. And I'm sitting here like, oh, so he about to interview MJF. No, it was Adam Cole returning. And like I said, and then everything else that he said. Like I said, man, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no. And like I said, when Adam Cole, when he finally came out, and I was like, okay, so we haven't heard anything from Adam Cole on the internet. We haven't heard Tony Khan or AEW address anything. So then, Adam Cole, when he came out in his street clothes, and he started giving that sad story. We got the good and the bad, but let me give you the good first. I'm like, man, this reminded me of Bryan Danielson, then Daniel Bryan and Seattle, Washington, all over again. I'm like, damn, bro. He started talking about the head injuries, and he been doing this for 15 years, and the fans, they said they didn't care if he was gonna wrestle again. I'm like, oh man. And then he was like, but luckily for you, it's great for me to be here. It's bad for them. I'm like, all right, yes. And then, like you say, like he didn't try to flashy light it. He came back and he acknowledged the fact that people want to see you. The people want to see, but more importantly, they care about you. So it didn't make sense for him to go heel. You ain't got the Undisputed Elite no more. It's just you right now. So, all right, this is perfect. You coming back as a face. And then on the other side, when you look at Britt and Jamie, now that we're going to get to that later, the fans already done turned them back. So it's like, it just makes sense if that's how you want to do it. And I also like what he said about this too, because you and I, we've had this conversation in the past. He said, as much fun as I'm having at AEW, let's get real for a second. Adam Cole hasn't even scratched the surface. And I like that he admitted that, because he really, it's been cool to have.
He hasn't. But he's had some good matches, but he's won no championships whatsoever. He's had opportunities at the world title, but but that was it. There was really nothing, beyond that. So I'm damn excited to see him have a run. Like, the possibilities. Like, I'm already the first person, and I don't know why. I know why. But the first person that instantly hit my mind when I seen Adam Cole, Orange Cassidy.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, damn, man. Yeah. Like, I don't want to see Orange lose the title, because I feel like Orange Cassidy needs to, because they had a rivalry, and Cole pretty much got the better of that rivalry. So I want to see Cassidy at least have one good defense against him. But at the same time, it's like, damn, I can see Cole and Cassidy, and I can see Cole coming in being the Mid-Atlantic champion and, get the champ. I can see that kind of happen, but I can also see some other matchups happening, especially if Bryan Danielson is in the building doing what he do. And it's an opportunity for the championship. I damn sure want to see an Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson cross paths again, because we saw it when NXT took over SmackDown, a few years ago, when they got stuck over there in Saudi Arabia for the Crown Jewel. We saw that match, and it was a great match, for itself. But I want to see it again, a little bit unhinged, a little uncuffed, a little bit, just raw with itself and what those two can do. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself, man. So let's move on to the next thing, man. So after that, man, we got my boy and Takeshita. I always Takesha. I always call him take a shitter, because that's
apparently so the MJF too. Okay, really quick, before you even get started, I got a message to you about
that's
that.
Where I'm going. That's where I'm going. So
okay.
He came out. Takesha came out, and then we thought it was gonna be Bryan Danielson. It was MJF, and MJF came out. Go ahead, bro. Give your thoughts.
So when MJF came out, and he like, what is your name? Take a shitter, dude. Initially, the first person that popped in my head was you. because every time you was trying to say his name, you would get flustered and you just like take a shitter, take a shitter. So when he said it, I'm like, all right, okay. I gotta bust two cold balls with this one. Like, all right, I get it. I see the light now because I didn't understand how nobody thought his name was taking shitter, but apparently MJF did. I'm like, what has the world come to?
Look, bro, and the sad part is, man, the fucked up part is, I am a fan of this man. I loved ever since he first debuted, man. I have been a fan. I love the way this dude works in the ring and his grit and just what he does. And I am a huge fan, but I can never get his name right. I always fuck it up. I always do it. But I am a huge fan of him, man. I am definitely 100% behind him being all the lead in AEW, man. But go ahead, finish.
But no. So we got that, and then MJF, man. First of all, I mean, my guy, man. He just kind of promos everybody. You know, Ken Jeong.
Who was in attendance? Who was in attendance to watch AEW? Like,
who was in attendance?
Really?
And of course, speaking of being in attendance, Freddie Prinze Jr. I'm like, you could have promo on him. Talk about how he played second fiddle to a CGI dog. Of course, if you ain't seen Scooby Doo, go see it. It's about over a decade old now, but anyway, good movie. I like
it. I still never watched it. I still ain't watched it. I couldn't bring myself to do it, man. I'm too old school. I'm sorry. I'm too old school. I couldn't bring myself to do it.
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I'm just trying to put it over. It was terrible. but Daphne though, hello, yeah. Hey, what LA Knight say? Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, yeah.
That's not a hit song. It's just a fact of life.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. All right. We're getting off hand. Hey, so that happened.
Yeah.
The match though. I gotta get to the match though.
Bro.
Takeshita. Yes. Bryan Danielson. I just fucked his name up again. But dude, the match in itself, man, the reversals, again, Tony Khan just reaching in his bag and just like, here, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna put this on first, then we're gonna have you come out, and then bam, we're gonna do this. Bro, this is the first hour of the show, and I'm all for it. I'm all in. What's your thoughts, man, on the match?
I mean, okay, so the show itself, to me, I feel like was a pay-per-view quality show. So that off rip, you know. And they have their markers that they go to where they just put on phenomenal shows. Right. and the Kia Forum, and of course, what's the one, Arthur Ashe, two off the top.
Right.
But going back to this match, dude, okay, so there's been reports online that Takeshita is in line to receive a huge push in the main event scene.
Yes.
And he's one of those guys.
TNT or Mid-Atlantic, I would say TNT Championship. Most definitely he's in line for that.
Yeah, and my thing is, this guy, first of all, let's look at him, okay? A foreign talent, connects with the crowd super well regardless. And when you just look at his build, man, he's got a unique build because he's tall, but he's jacked, but he's not too jacked, but he can high fly when he needs to, but he can do like his moveset and his arsenal is so well rounded. And so for him and Bryan Danielson, bro, it was the one move where I believe he had Danielson up on his shoulders and it looked like he spiked him into the damn mat. I'm like, what the hell? There's suplex, buddy. I'm like, what kind of moveset is this? But they were going at it, and the crowd loved it. And you know what? Okay, you got Wheeler Yuta. You had him in the Blackpool Combat Club. I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't mind seeing this guy, because this dude got it. If they ever add a fourth, this man got it.
I ain't gonna lie. They don't need a fourth. The Combat Club don't need a fourth. But as far as Takeshita, man, look, dude, this is why he is so adaptable.
Yeah,
in a match, man. Yeah. He can go in a match with anybody, and he has this not gonna quit, never gonna stop, just kind of drive about him, man. That when Leo, what's going on? He just he has this, and I don't know, man. It's like, man, this dude just, it's like when you think it's over, it ain't over, and that's what I love about him, man. It's like no matter who he has fought. When you knew, oh man, damn, it's over. Nope. Oh, he kicked out. Oh shit, he kicked out. Let's go. Come on, man. Come on, let's get it.
Yeah,
But you
yeah,
know he
yeah.
gonna lose. But it's like he makes you just. It's like nah, he ain't. Maybe he ain't gonna lose this. Maybe he gonna get it. Maybe he gonna win. But
Mhm.
I love watching him so much, and for him to have this match with Brian Danielson, one, like I said, man, just some technical wrestling with a little bit of a little roughness, a little bit of everything in it. But
Yeah,
man, I great man. Like I said, man, and that's the first hour. And that's why
yeah.
I keep saying that it's the first hour. You had Moxley versus Page. You had Adam Cole. You had Takasha. His name Takasha. To what's his name
Takeshi,
again?
Takeshi.
Takesha. Takesha. I see. Takesha. And then you had MJF come out, and then you had the match. So you had that nice little hour that was just, it wasn't a lot. It was just those six to seven people, and it made so much sense, man. But man, Takesha and Brian Danielson, that was just that was a good match. Again, this is what I love about Brian Danielson being in AEW, because
Yeah,
he's willing to go out there and have good matches with everybody. And that's what I loved about Moxley being there, man. He's putting people on notice about what's going on. Hey, look, hey, hey, I've been saying it for a while, man. I have admittedly been fucking up his name, but
Tuco, real quick,
and what's
before
up?
you say too much, Cole, what's up? Thank you for joining the GOW. My bad, bro.
Yeah, thank you, man. Welcome to the show. But yeah, no, man, I've always messed up his name, but I try not to, and I try to remember it, but I'm terrible with names, but I am a huge fan of him, man. I love what he does, and my boy showed out. And if TK wants to give this guy a push, I'm
Yes,
all for it. I'm
yes.
all for it, and this
Give
is what
Takeshi what he
AEW is
wants.
about.
Yeah,
Exactly, and this is what AEW is about. They're about giving guys like him a push, giving them the opportunity to show the world, yo, I
yeah,
can do this. Like I can be this thing, and I can be a part of this. And I it's not perfect, but man, I can appreciate what the message and what the sentiment is behind it. But great match, man. So okay, we started off with that, right?
yes, yes.
Now my memory's a little fuzzy, but because I know we had that, now that, but again, that was the first hour, so that had my mind taken. Then
Yeah,
we of course, we got some promos for the the trios match that happened later
yeah.
on. We're gonna talk about that. But we got Jamie Hayter, we got Britt
Woo!
Baker, we got
Yeah.
Tony Storm, we
Hey.
got we got Saraya,
Yeah.
we got
Yeah.
this women's tag team match going
Uh,
on. And I'm not
undeniable.
gonna lie, man, and this is where people got mad, people got upset that,
Uh-oh.
oh man, Mercedes, she didn't show up. What, she wasn't the surprise mystery tag team partner.
Yeah.
No, because Saraya already told us that it's gonna be Tony Storm.
Yeah.
Sheeta already played her card and being upset about the decision. So we already
Ooh.
saw that
Yeah.
something was gonna happen there, and we saw what happened at the end of it. So,
Yeah.
bro, we had this tag team match.
We
Jamie
did.
Hayter came out.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, my
Uh-oh.
one gripe
Uh-oh. Talk to me too, Cole. Let's go. Skip.
is that Jamie Hayter should have came out first.
Okay.
That I feel like
I
Jamie
agree.
Hayter should have
Yes.
came out first. It
Yes.
shouldn't have been Britt. I understand Britt's Britt, but it should have been Jamie Hayter coming out, and then it should have been Britt coming out behind her. I I need you to push
Yeah.
Jamie, man. That's my one. It's like, like it was cool because
Yeah.
but no, man, but because I feel like when Jamie came out, the crowd did pop louder. Like the
And
crowd did get louder
it's
for when
funny
she
you
came
said that
out.
because Cole just hit you. Damn, you right there too, Cole. Like, do you guys think Jamie Hayter return face soon? Maybe she already a face.
It's not that she would, well, she will turn face because Britt will turn on her. That's how that's going to happen. We already know what's going to happen. She's the world champion. Britt's only going to sit by so long. Yeah,
Oh,
she wants to show support for her because Jamie supported her, but after a while, Britt's got to be that bitch. All right, let's just be real. All right, I'm going to call it like I call it. she's got not to steal the phrase from Jade Cargill, because Jade's gonna always be that bitch. But Britt is Britt, and Britt's gotta have the championship. Britt's gotta be the face of the women's division. So therefore, if you and Jamie needs this type of thing, because this we all been seeing it. We've been seeing it for so long now.
Yeah.
Even when Jamie first got there, she was never a part of the DMD. You know, when they always did the interview, she always stood there and just looked tough. You know, Jamie never really did the stuff that a Rebel would do along with Britt Baker. So, but she always had her back. So there was always little seeds that we saw being planted that they're gonna turn on each other and they're gonna have a matchup. Now that Jamie's the champion, you best believe this is gonna happen. But it's gonna be Britt that's gonna turn on Jamie, and Jamie's already there because people are a fan of her. We're glad to see her succeed and be again another one of those young talents that's coming in, and Tony Khan's giving them the you know, hey, obviously what you're doing is working.
Yeah,
let's push it forward, and they're pushing it forward. So, and maybe that's the reason why Britt came out first, just for the fact when Jamie came out, we heard the crowd be louder for her than we did for Britt. So, okay, now that I think about it and I said it out loud, okay, cool, maybe that's the reason why. But I still feel like Jamie should have came out first. She's the champion, you know. You know, represent the championship. But bro, talk about the match, man.
First of all, my God, this match was beautiful, literally. With all due respect. But with that being said, okay. Now that we got that out the way, because you know, franchise got to be franchise. Dude, Jamie. Definitely. Okay, I'm gonna get to Jamie because the champ. I'm gonna say the best for last. Toni Storm and Saraya, bro. We knew Britt's been consistent. Like once Britt found her stride at AEW, she's been consistent. Saraya, her first match back with Britt, had a little bit of rust, was not the best, but we didn't expect that. She was solid as hell though in this match. She looked good. I'm like, okay, cool. She a little comfortable. You could tell, you know, she wasn't as nervous to do certain moves. Her neck, I don't think, was as much in the back of her mind as it was her first match back. So I think she was a little comfortable and, you know, got herself familiar from the first match. Now let's talk about Toni Storm. To me, when Toni Storm first came to AEW, it was kind of like she was slipping along the way. Like, this ain't the Toni Storm we know from NXT. This ain't the Toni Storm, blah, blah, blah. Bro, I would say ever since she's won the championship and then moving forward, she's done nothing but show. She is a beast. Like, this is what we wanted to see. And now we're getting a confident Toni Storm. We're getting that badass Toni Storm. So that was cool. Then you got Sheeta coming out. Bro, when she threw the damn kendo stick, she tried to pretend like she meant to throw it in the middle of the ring. She clearly threw it more towards one side than the other. But so we're going to get a heel Sheeta, which I'm loving. Because you know what? Stop with the niceties, okay? We had a face Sheeta for so long, and she killed it as a face. But normally, when you got a face that is as good of a caliber of a wrestler as she is, male or female, and their face, it's cool. But it's something about a heel that's that damn good. And when they do stuff to make you despise them, and they do the little underhand, and you kind of get to really see them, you know, show that personality and you know, their wherewithal and their resolve. I'm liking that. But let's talk about Jamie Hayter, because you said something else too. Yes, I do think Tony Khan positioned Hayter to come out entrance-wise after, because we all knew the pop was going to be bigger. Do I think Britt Baker and Hayter's eventually going to? Yes, absolutely. Because if you remember when Britt Baker, when she won the Owen, I think the Owen Hart or Martha Hart, I can't remember what they called it for the women. I think I can't remember which one it was.
The Owen Hart tournament that they had.
Yeah, but remember when she won, and I think, like, I forgot what happened, but Hayter picked up the title, right? And then Britt Baker took it, and she cut a promo like a week or two after, like a Dynamite or a Rampage. Like, you know, people need to learn their place and keep their crusty hands off of things that don't belong to them. And then Jamie Hayter kind of looked at her sideways. So they've been planting the seeds for a while. And if it's one thing that we know Tony Khan gonna do,
you can't forget the Fatal 4-Way where Jamie where it looked like Jamie could win, but Britt screwed her.
Yeah,
she didn't end up. So you can't forget that also. That's why I say, the seeds have been planted. We've been watching it grow this whole time, and it's going to flourish when the time is ready. So we good.
And I would say this too, and I'm gonna let you move on. I would say the AEW women's division is finally taking form. It took a little longer than we wanted, but the women are main eventing. We getting longer matches. We getting more women in matches that don't have nothing to do with the title, and that was a big thing because you really didn't see many many women's matches that was given a lot of time or story if it wasn't for a title. So now, okay, you got the Saraya, you got the Toni Storms, you got you got 5 different women in this one match alone doing something, getting time. Not to mention Jade Cargill, she's the TBS champion. So whoever she goes up next, they're going to get their time. So it's just nice to see the women getting a little more airtime.
Oh no, most definitely. But we also have to realize that we understood why AEW's women's division was going to be lackluster because Vince was hoarding talent when AEW came out.
That's
And
true.
we understood it was going to be a while. And not only was Vince doing that, but the other women that were available, they were going to TNA and they were going to Impact, which was respected why they were going there because the knockout division has always been a respectable division in wrestling, man. As far as Impact is ever, the knockout division has always had, those gems that they've always had. So it was understood why AEW's women's division would suck. I'm glad that we got the women that we did, the Nyla Rose, the Sheetas, the Rios, the Britt Bakers.
And by the way, I would love to see Nyla Rose get another shot. Like, I know when she first came into AEW, people had their opinions and they felt how they felt.
Which was more of a social issue than anything.
Yeah, because dude, like when Nyla Rose is involved in feuds and matches, at first when she first came to AEW, it's kind of like, ooh, you're a little rough. But man, like, bro, you can't deny she can go.
Oh no, man! But women like Big Swole and all those other ones that came in and had a mark and that they helped bring some light to it. But now that people have become available and there's more options for folks to be like, you know what, I don't feel like I gotta sign here because I got nowhere else to go. I can take the chance on myself and go somewhere else. And you've seen some of them people do that. So I'm fine with that there, man. Between AEW, Ring of Honor, Impact, New Japan, there is plenty of opportunity, and that's what we love about the wrestling business right now.
Speaking of Ring of Honor, Tony Khan, he announced that there's another Ring of Honor pay-per-view coming up, and he the thing that caught my attention was he said this pay-per-view is going to have talent from all promotions everywhere, all across the board. So I'm really excited to see, okay, TK, what you got up your sleeve, because you know what, the Forbidden Door pay-per-view was pretty nice, and you did that with a lot of last minute changes and stuff like that. So for you to have time to adequately put a card together and you letting people know, like, hey, bro, letting y'all know, man, we getting a little bit of everybody from everywhere, like, let's go. Hey, I am excited. For a split second, AEW seemed like they was getting a little comfortable. I'm not gonna lie, they went through that like 3-4 month period. It was like, but TK back on it, baby. He back on it.
Well, to be fair, and I want to move on to the next match, but to be fair, absolutely. He did get comfortable because there was a point where WWE, where before Triple H took over, there was a certain way that TK moved, but when Triple H took over, he had to reevaluate what he had to do because Triple H was coming in on a different mission. Triple H wasn't making the decisions that Vince was making. He was making the decisions he wanted to make, and he was putting the people on that he wanted to put on, which was forcing AEW's hand to be more calculating about what he was doing. And you can still nitpick about what was good or what was bad, but I'm glad it happened. I'm glad that Vince had to step away and Triple H took over and we got what we've been getting because it forced TK to kind of, remember, hey man, no, man, ground yourself, young man.
Yeah.
You might have had somewhat of an advantage, but now the game has changed and you need to realize that. And you don't want to ever fall behind when the game changes. So I'm not mad about it because obviously he recognized what he needs to do. And things haven't been great on AEW's front. So, again, with the CM Punk and Elite and all that.
Which, by the way, there's rumors that he said that he's reached out and is willing to do business. Just saying.
I mean, well, there's a whole. We'll get into that another day. Let's get to the next match, man, because like I said, we were already 35 in. So we got this tag team match, right?
Yep.
We got Lee Moriarty.
Mm-hmm.
We got Big Bill. We got that boy Jungle Boy, and we got Hook.
Yes, sir.
I gotta say, man, the match wasn't bad.
It wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't.
But they damn sure protected Hook.
Of course.
But I feel like they overprotected him. Like I feel like he didn't have no disadvantages in this match. Like I feel like WB should have, or whatever I always call him WB. I feel like Morrissey should. I feel like he should have kind of dominated against Hook a little bit. Hook could have had one or two little offensive moves, like the T-bone suplex was cool. The setup could have been a little better, but it was okay. But you could tell they were really trying to protect Hook in this match.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your thoughts on this, man, before we move forward?
No, I mean, absolutely. The match is cool. Like I said, pretty solid. But I noticed what you noticed. Hook has been getting protected like a mug. I mean, he's a cold-hearted, handsome devil, man. You can't have him get in his face out here messed up, man. He pretty. You know what I'm saying? He coming out here. You know what I'm saying? They got this man. Hey, bro, they got this man beating giants like it ain't nothing. My boy's slamming 200 and 300 pounders like it ain't nothing out here in these streets. Rey Mysterio could never under Vince McMahon. So, other than that, man, it was cool. I liked it. It was what it was. I do feel like, though, that the look that I was about to call him Big Cass. My goodness, he's got so many names. Big Bill. The look that Big Bill gave Hook after he got T-boned, it was kind of like, what the fuck? Like, who the hell is this motherfucker? I like that part of it. Like, all right, if you're gonna do it, at least sell it.
And it wasn't bad. Like they double teamed him, so it was cool. Like I got it. It was fine, but again, I just feel like you overprotected Hook. Again, I feel like Hook needs a moment where sad we didn't get another.
And then that's a bad cat.
Hey, I am disappointed now that you said that. But damn you, Leo! Damn you! Hey.
Oh man.
But again, it wasn't bad. I can accept what I saw. It was cool. The crowd was behind it. Lee Moriarty, he worked most of the match, which made sense. They didn't try to make Morrison look bad, but also at the same time they wanted the Hook to look good. But I think they protected them a little too much, man. Streets of house. Oh, don't worry, man. We're gonna get another lesson. I'm sure we're gonna get another lesson soon. Because he's a bad man. You don't want to mess with that guy. But all right, man.
Yeah.
Bro.
Dodge
Let's kick forward, man. Yeah. Let's get to this to the main event.
Main event, yes, sir.
Death Triangle. The Elite. Match number 7 of the best of 7. Ladder match. I gotta say, man, I wasn't considering what the last 3 matches have been, because they kind of been more of a no holds bar, kind of just anything goes type of matches.
Yeah,
I was really concerned about this one.
Yeah,
and just kind of how the pace would go, the excitement, the making people want to watch. And it's the last match, so obviously you would watch it more, but I was still concerned because we the way they set it up. Death Triangle, they basically took a 3-0 lead, then or 3-1, 2-1, whatever. They got a 3-1, and then the Elite have come back, which is cool, but they kind of had to come back in matches that weren't normal matches, which is fine. I thought this was a really good match. I actually had no problem with the main event. I thought Omega took to the spot for me. Was Omega going for the suicide dive on the outside and smashing through the table. He took quite a few spots where I'm like, damn, dude, can you stop because you're just getting back.
He
You just
crazy.
won the United States Championship last week. You had a busted eye. Well, your eye is okay, but still something to worry about. And now you're in this match, and you're taking these spots. People went through tables.
Yeah.
They went.
The
It
table
was a
actually
ladder match,
broke. Oh my god, the kill form can afford to
right?
break
On the first try, matter of fact, on the first try. But there was a lot of chaos. There was a
yeah,
lot of chaos in this match, but it was controlled chaos. It was good. The Elite are now two-time trios champion.
they are.
Bro,
Yes.
talk to the people, man. Give your thoughts on the match.
Yeah. And I ain't gonna be long winded. No, dude, the match was good. The one complaint that a lot of people had that I saw online was that the match was only 14 minutes and it was the main event. And on top of that, it had commercials. I think a lot of people was kind of annoyed with that aspect of it.
I'm glad you brought that up because I beg the question: what else? How long do you think they were supposed to go?
Especially
We
with all
watched
they
the
did.
exactly. We watched these guys put on 6 matches for the last 6 weeks. All right. What more? 15, 14 minutes. I don't think that was bad. I thought that was actually good.
Yeah.
How much longer did you think they needed to go? Like, man, they've done pretty much everything in the last 6 matches. This was just a combination of it. And whoever wins actually just going to walk out with the championship.
Right, right, right.
I thought the pacing of it was where it's been on par for where it's been for all the series.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not mad that it didn't go longer. I'm glad it finished where it finished
Yeah, yeah,
and it
absolutely.
didn't go longer.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, man, I actually think the opposite of it because, dude, we've been watching them for the last 6 matches.
Yeah.
What else can they do? How much longer? Because I believe the last 2 matches, to me, I felt like they went on longer than they should have.
Yeah.
So for this one to go as far as it did, I actually didn't have a problem with it.
No, no, absolutely. Like I said, I feel like, one, I think everybody knew what it was when they kept hyping up the whole 3-1 league. Come on, bro. We from the land, we from the city. We know what that's in reference to. Uh
Exactly.
we knew what it was. We knew that the elite were when the elite came back and they announced that they were going to do this whole best of seven, and the way they lost the first few times, I'm like, bruh, you're not about to tell me you got the first ever trios champions. They lost the belts, not even because they really lost, because of something that was out of their control at the time, and that they're going to come back after all this anticipation, all these vignettes, and all this speculation, and they weren't going to win the championships back. And that was the thing that a lot of people that kind of annoyed me was, dude, Death Triangle, I feel like had a solid run with the belts. Okay. Did it suck that they lost to the Elite? Sure. But I would say it sucked more if the Elite would have came back one match and then just beat them. That would have been some bullshit. I mean, bro, you bought Death Triangle a whole nother month and a half with the run with the belts. So and on top of that, it seemed like they're gonna break them up anyway. It seemed like, Pat gonna go do his thing. They've been kind of teasing that. So it's, I feel like the run did what it needed to do. And I don't feel like the Elite aren't going to hold on to the belts that long anyway. But I feel like whoever they lose the belts to is going to be to a group that's going to take the trio division and really run with it.
I don't have a problem with what you said. I just want folks to remember the only reason Death Triangle was the champions was because of what happened back in All Out.
Yep.
That's the only reason that they were
Yep.
the champions. Now, do I think that they could have been eventually if the Elite hadn't have had to step away and got vacated the championships?
Mm-hmm.
Could they have been champions this whole time? Sure. Could
Yeah.
what we have seen been the opposite? Could we have watched Death Triangle win if the Elite had never been away? I think so. But the fact that you put it on Death Triangle, which I'm not really mad about because, again, as a group, when we heard that they were doing the Trios Championships, they were one of the groups who were like, oh man, Death Triangle, hell yeah, I want to see them get those belts. Like, we
Right.
want to
Right.
see
Right.
them win. So we finally seen the Lucha Bros win tag team gold. We've seen Pac win the Mid Atlantic Championship. We've seen them win the Trios Championship. So if it's time for them to go their own ways, as far as Pac doing his own thing, the Lucha Bros maybe doing their own thing, or if they're not doing their own thing together, they're doing their own thing separately, because they do wrestle singles matches. That's fine. I'm not mad about it because I've got to see them do what I felt they needed to do, and that's hold championships because they're one of the originals. They're one of the guys that was the foundation for AEW, and you want to see them have success, especially when they're one of your hottest groups from day one. They've always been one of your hottest groups. The only other group I'm waiting for is the Best Friends. That's really it, but they kind of tease that they may be breaking up. I don't know yet. We'll talk about that later. But the matches for itself, I didn't have a problem with the time. I think we all kind of saw that the Elite was going to win.
Yeah.
But we understood why it may happen. But they did. I'm not going to lie. Out of this best of seven, I will say maybe 3 matches were really good for me. The other ones were just, they were just there. They were there to be had because they needed to do them. That was it. Right. But 3 of these matches, I truly feel like they were they were really, really good matches. This last one, and honestly, the first two were kind of really good before the Elite started winning. But yeah, no, I had no problem with the main event. We understood the assignment. But with that being said, man, bro, that's Dynamite. Adam Cole is back. Moxley and Page had their battle to take a shitter. I'm gonna just go fuck it. And Brian Danielson. They had a nice
man gave up on life. he hit that second syllable and said, "Nah, bro."
I embarrassed myself enough.
No.
I don't need it. I'm not even gonna do it no more.
At least you didn't embarrass yourself with a future first ballot Hall of Famer and on live recording, sit here and make up a word that ain't even in the lexicon. Even E40 didn't even make that word up. Okay.
Hey, look here, man.
The 500.
Look here, bro. We're black. Look here, man. We're black. This is what we do. But with that being said.
What kind of bourbon?
With that being said, man, that was Dynamite review, man. Honestly, for me, I ain't gonna lie, man. If I got to give the show a number, I'm being very generous. I give it a 5 out of 5. I felt like the first hour in itself had me so glued to the TV that it was like, yo. I was for it. I was for the way it just came on. So that right there was a 5 out of 5 for me. The main event finished it off, and now it's just time to move forward. Now that they the new year is here. We got people returning. We know TK wants to push some new folks, and he wants to push new storylines, and he wants to move things forward. And it's time to move things forward because we got a pay-per-view coming up in March. So. It's time to start putting things in place. But other than that, man, bro, any final thoughts, man, before we get out of here with the people?
Hey, man, I just want to tell the people, man, it sounds like a pot of neck bone. Look, tomorrow we coming to you live and direct with a 2-part block party. We got Friday Night SmackDown. You know what?
It ain't no 2-part. It's just a block party.
I had to think about it.
We gonna come on for SmackDown, and we gonna finish with Rampage. That's how it is. Yeah.
That's what we gonna do. Like my man said, man, ain't no 2-parter. Hey, look, act like you know something. Hey, but with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of the GOW, the Generational Wrestling Podcast, baby. I am the voice to get a voice. He's the people's choice. I'm the 29-year-old piece of gold, and he is too cold. And we'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.